Morning! We've just parked up at the Rabbit Warren on the A591 just before Dodd Woods Cafe. We've head out the car park in a northerly direction towards Ravenstone Hotel, where just before the hotel we took a right onto the fell side into the forest, where today we're going to head up onto Ullock Pike and Carlside. It's a bit wild, freezing cold again. Plod away alongside this fence and the path eventually tops out just before the watches on the ridge. Head through the gate here, out of the forest and on the open fell side. There's the ridge there up above us. Our path will take us to this little point here, just before the watches. The watches is up here. If you wanted to do an out and back to the watches, it would only take you 10 minutes. It's a Burkitt, but when we get up there, we're going to head right onto Ullock Pike and Longside. We're starting to get a fantastic view across Bassenthwaite behind us. We got Sale Fell where we were on our last walk, Ling Fell. Across the way we got the ridge of Brumfell onto Lord's Seat. Below Lord's Seat in the forest we got Bath, Grisdale Pike. Behind Grisdale Pike we've got Crag Hill, Sale, Scar Crags, and right on the end here, Causey Pike. So you've probably noticed that I've been keeping kind of local on my walks lately. There's a reason for that. Before Christmas my car fatally broke down. In fact, just after that Kirk Fell walk I did, I broke down coming out of Wasdale. Ended up getting recovered from Egremont. So that was the 23rd of December. It's on the ramps now, getting fixed. One or two problems, biggest one being the catalytic converter, so hopefully we'll get it back soon. So yeah, I've been keeping local because Tracy has kindly been lending me a car so I can still get to the fells. So thank you very much, Tracy. If you've not caught up with Tracy's YouTube channel, it's Essex Girl in the Wild. Give it a check out and a subscribe. Fantastic content, very similar to my own, very descriptive and very, you know, informative. Thank you for subscribing to us both. We get a lot of mutual subscribers, lots of lovely feedback. Keep plodding away at the path all the way up to the ridge. That's the watches just to our left. Our path heading up the right. So the wind's blowing out the southeast and you always get a horrible raggy gusty wind blowing in at about 30-40 miles an hour today. When I left home on the west coast, there wasn't a breath of wind. In fact, we haven't had a breath of wind for days, but the fells have been blown like hell. Just topping out into the collier and getting my first view of Skiddaw. Straight across the collier we've got Skiddaw's northwest ridge. You can drop down into the valley of Southerndale just by the wall there and get up onto the ridge. It's a fantastic short route onto Skiddaw, very steep all the way up the northwest ridge here, up to Randel Crag, avoiding Gibraltar Crag, then steeply up the scree, and it tops out directly on Skiddaw's summit. I've got a route on YouTube featuring the northwest ridge. If you're interested, I'll put the link in the description of this video. It's a cracking walk, one of my favourites, but it's a tough one. And there in front of us we can now see Ullock Pike. It's wild. There's Binsey, the last of the northern fells behind us. And the Solway Firth you can just see Criffel in southern Scotland. From the bottom of the ridge at Watches, where we set off, you can now see all the way up the valley of Southerndale, right up to the col at Carlside, where we're heading. Ullock Pike first. My opinion is it's a lot easier going up Ullock Pike, as there's a lot of Skiddaw slate, so when it's wet it's very slippy. Just approaching the summit of Ullock Pike. Ullock Pike, 690 metres. It's a Wainwright and a Burkitt. Below the summit of Ullock Pike we've got Skiddaw's Dodd, and behind that we've got Keswick and Derwentwater. We're going to follow along Longside Edge to the higher summit of Longside, just there. And look at that view of the big uns in the south. got the drone, and if I put that little thing up, it'll probably beat me home. But the light today is absolutely beautiful. Stunning, in fact. It's blown the cobwebs off. Look at Durban water and the light over there. At this junction here, that path there would take you to Skiddaw via the little town at Carlside. This path here to our right will take us up to the summit of Carlside and then back down the ridge into Dodd. I don't think that's a search and rescue, I think it's an army helicopter. It's green army colours anyhow. He's just gone round in a complete circle and he's coming back up the valley. Here he comes. He's actually lower than the summit of Skiddaw. Can't be far off the side of Skiddaw there either. My word, they're actually sitting in the doorway of that helicopter. I'm almost on the summit of Carlside, and he's even below Carlside now. There he is. They've got the door shut now. Way over to Little Man. I've never seen a military helicopter that low. Absolutely awesome. I could see them laughing and waving. Wow. Then they disappeared over Little Man. You got to take your hat off at them boys training in them fighter jets and helicopters in the Lake District, especially in this weather. It is blowing a gale and it was nothing. They were absolutely loving it. The summit of Carlside, 746 metres. It's a Wainwright, a Burkitt, a Hewitt and a Nuttall. The summit of Carlside, we'll follow that long steep ridge back down into the wood. It's a really nice path all the way down into Dodd Wood. Getting a bit of sunshine now, it's a lot warmer down here. Just down here is white stones where the route should start turning right into the wood. And here we have the white stones where we're going to take a right. Just past Whitestones at the cairn here, turn left and start dropping down in the direction of Dodd. If I've ever been on this path, it was a long time ago as well. It's a beauty. A little bit of care needed just here, and it's a little bit on the edge. Nothing too dramatic though. We're back down into the forest now and onto the forest road. Just this stile to cross, and then we're gonna drop through the forest past the calf and back to the rabbit warren. It's a bit warmer down here. I think it's time to get some of that winter gear off. No wind, sheltered now. Just a nice casual plod through the forest. If you wanted to go up Dodd, that's the path there. You could tag it in, I guess. Wouldn't take you too long from here, maybe half an hour there and back. Where the road forks at the big turning circle, take the fork to the left. Oh, that's a bit better. It's a different world down here in the forest. You'll have noticed I managed to get the little Neo drone up. Having fun again. It's been a little bit naughty. So I've just met this young lad, Harry Richardson.
Hiya.
From Manchester. We've had a little walk down the hill here for about a mile or so, and we're just heading to the little bridge here where we're going to cross the bridge, head back down to the cafe, and then back to the rabbit warren. So Harry's on holiday with his family.
I am, yeah.
From Manchester. You enjoying it, mate?
It is amazing. Honestly, the Lake District, it's so much better than urban areas like Manchester. The walks are amazing.
I've got to agree with you there, mate.
Yeah.
And Harry's just subscribed us, so thanks, mate.
Of course. Hi.
So Harry's just left us. He's gone back down to the calf. We're on the higher path here, the quieter path. Absolute pleasure to meet you, Harry. All the best with your schoolwork, mate. He's sixth form. Sounds very clever. An inspiration to young folk. You never know, mate. One day we might cross paths. Keep it up. Keep coming to the lakes. And when you get a bit older, get yourself up on them mountains. We're going to take a left here and drop down to the lower path, otherwise we're going to stay too high and we'll head past the rabbit warren where we parked and we'll not be able to get back down. So take a left here and it'll drop you down to the lower path. And then when you hit the path at the bottom, turn right and you kind of finish the rest of the walk above the roadside. Cross through this little lay-by here, another place you could park. Don't be thinking your car's being nicked. It does look very similar to the one we parked in. Cross it and then pick up the path on the other side. We've only a couple of 100 yards up here to the rabbit warren, so I'm going to wrap my video up here. It's been a fantastic walk, absolutely wild up on the tops and freezing cold, a different world altogether in the forest. So yeah, if you like my content, please think about giving me a subscribe. Today's walk was about 6 miles. Thank you from me and thank you from the Rockstar. Today's walk starts from the rabbit warren, A591. We head parallel up the road to Ravenstone Hotel and then steeply up the hill to the col just before Watches. We turned right and then steeply head up to the summit of Ullock Pike. From Ullock Pike we head over Longside Edge to the summit of Longside. We then made a diversion from Skiddaw's summit path and head over Carlside, dropping down Carlside to Whitestones. We then drop down into Dodd Wood and followed the path back past the calf and back down the side of the road to the car park.